Welcome back to SimStation. This is going to be Find It, Fix It, and Flip It number 3. But it's fast forwarded. I bought this, I got to tell you the story because you're going to love this one. I found this little guy on Marketplace, and I've been busy with home projects, so I just want you to know that. I tore the entire front porch out. Since I've mentioned anything, you don't know what's been going on. I tore the entire front porch out and I rebuilt it with composite decking and composite railing, and it's almost together. It's coming out really nice. Everybody loves it. The wife loves it. Everyone loves it. So it's turning out to be a really nice deck. I'll show it to you guys when I get it finished, but it's not there yet. So let's fast forward. It was Thanksgiving Eve, so the eve of Thanksgiving. And I hope everybody had a happy Turkey Day when I think about that. But I had messaged somebody on a $150 gaming PC that I thought would be a nice Find It, Fix It, or Flip It number 3 since we sold number 2. So the wife and I were picking up some things for the deck at Lowe's. And it's the eve of Thanksgiving, right? And this cat messages me back on this gaming PC that I was after. Now, I didn't have my camera with me because it was the wife and I at Lowe's. So I set up a meeting down the road at the Walmart parking lot. Bad idea, guys. Don't do that on the eve of Thanksgiving or the eve of Christmas or any of the eves of a holiday. Do not meet anyone at the local Walmart parking lot because it took me 35 minutes to get into the parking lot. 35 minutes. I'm not making this up. That's how bad the traffic was lined up going in and out of Walmart. It was terrible. So it took me 35 minutes to meet him. No, that was to get into the parking lot, and then he couldn't get in the parking lot, so then I had to spend another 25 minutes getting out to meet him at a gas station. You can't make this stuff up. If I could, I would. So I ended up buying the computer, and it was, I didn't know what it was because he didn't know anything about it. He bought it off of Amazon, he said. He said, I bought it off of Amazon brand new a year ago, and I haven't had time to game because I'm working all the time. And it's a good, feasible story, right? And it turned out to be an accurate story. So when I get it back home, my my son that's in the Air Force was home for Thanksgiving weekend, which was really awesome. And he happens to be a gamer. So he said, Dad, I'll test that computer out for you. And I never got the camera out to film any of that because he actually, I don't want to put him on film doing anything like that because he is actively in the Air Force and he does have a very high security clearance level, so we don't want to do that. So I let him game on it, and I thought, it'd be a good time to check the computer out to see what it is. So you can go on Amazon, type in Gaming PC, and this name is going to come up. It is called STG Albron. So let me say it again. S is in Sam, T is in Tom, G is in golf, Albron. So STG Albron is what this is. Is it a gaming computer? They sell it as one, but no, it is not. And I'm going to tell you why. I guess if you want to play some simple game that doesn't take a lot of graphics or processor, it will be. So the STG Albron come with an X79 board, which has a lot of capability. I'm a fan of the, my favorite's the X58s, LG A1366s, but I'm also a fan of the X79 and X99 platform. So this has an X79 platform. That's because if you are familiar with the STG Albron, they use basically all AliExpress parts when they build them. But the processor they put in it was a Xeon 1607 V2. That is a 4-core, 4-thread processor. So it doesn't hyper-thread, it doesn't turbo boost or anything. It's just stuck at 3 gigahertz, right? So not a good choice for that. He attempted to play Path of Exile on it, and let's just say it went badly. And it was funny watching the youngest son and him, the two brothers, debate whether that was internet lag or what was causing the lag and the poor performance in the game. And obviously it's a 4-core 4-thread with an RX 550 graphics card in it. And 8 gigs of RAM. I think it had 8 gigs of RAM in it. So being on an X79 platform, a guy was scratching his head and thinking about it. And I said, well, I have one of those on an old HP motherboard that I'm not using. I wonder if that processor and that memory would work in this one. Well, it turns out I did it, and it did work. So I went further, and you're going to see, I haven't edited the video for these graphics cards I bought yet. I bought 4 5700s, RX 5700s. 2 of them were XTs, and 2 of them were just 5700s. And I have in front of me one of the 5700 XTs tore down with our Find It, Fix It, or Flip It number 3. So let's fast forward you to what we're doing right now. And we're going to take a look down here and you will see it. I am re-thermal pasting the RX 5700 XT. This is actually a Dell model RX 5700 XT. And behind that, if you can see back here where my other hand is at, that is Find It, Fix It, or Flip It number 3. That's the STG Albron with the, I'll give you a better look at it here because we'll go over it more after I get this graphics card done and ready to go back in. So I went ahead and upgraded this thing, and you wait until you see the results on the performance on it. It come with this CPU cooler, it come with the RGB fan setup that it's got in it right here. So it come with all this, right? It's got a 500 watt power supply, which probably isn't doing the 5700 XT any justice, but I watched it play Path of Exile for 4 days and handle it like a champ. So that's the best way I'm going to put it. The only problem I noticed with it is the graphics card severely overheating. And this is why. I mean, the thermal paste is just dry and there wasn't enough of it in the first place, right? It's the same old story, different days. So it's dried out and there wasn't enough of it in the first place. We're going to go with the either the XTM70 Corsair thermal paste, or we're going to go with TM30, which has been one of my most popular to use. So we got both of them out. I don't know which one we're going to use yet. We'll see. But I'm going to re-thermal paste the graphics card, put it in here, and check the temperatures again. It was running hot, but he was running PoE on high settings too. So there you go. The graphics look great on it, and I can tell you what I put in it. I put an 8-core 16-thread Xeon W2687 in it. I put 32 gigabytes of DDR3 RAM. It's got a 500 gig hard drive in it now, and it's got our RX 5700 XT. With this graphics card, if it does go in it, I'll be all in at $200 on this little machine right here. So $200 because I had parts on hand for it, right? I can't count this as parts on hand, the graphics card, because I literally just purchased these a couple of weeks ago, 4 of them, and I got just under $200 in 4 of them, so I have to divide the cost up, which is approximately $50 for this one. That's if this goes in it. But I'm limited for space. If you look at the case, I'm limited for space on what size graphics card I can fit in here, right? So I need a short one, and this one just kind of fits the bill. It fits in there nicely, like it's supposed to be there. And it performs well with the 8-core 16-thread and the 32 gigs of RAM. So it may be what stays in it unless I can come up with another option. Because I'll give you an example. I have my GTX 1080 out over here, and my GTX 1080 will not fit in here, and I'll show you why. Just like that. I mean, it barely won't get in there, and you can't do it that way and get it to clear. You see what I mean? I tried everything. I could probably pull the fans out and put it in, but then you don't have any front cooling fans. I'm just saying. So I have worked on that relentlessly. So what we're going to do is I'm going to fast forward you. I'm going to go ahead and get the graphics card here cleaned up. We'll get it cleaned up, wiped down, and re-thermal paste it. and then we'll reassemble it in here. We'll go over the PC a little bit on Marketplace Find It, Fix It, or Flip It number 3, because that's what this is going to be. So we'll go over it a little bit, and we'll show you how to make your STG Albron perform better than what they shipped it to you as. I woke this computer up. I literally did. And when you do those kind of upgrades, you got a 4-core, 4-thread processor, and you upgrade it to an 8-core, 16-thread processor. You'd go from 8 gigs of memory to 32 gigabytes. You go from an RX 550 to an RX 5700 XT. It's a huge difference, right? And that's what it did for this computer. I'm very happy with the NovaBench scores. You're going to see those. We'll do a Heaven benchmark run on it. And it literally played 4 days of Path of Exile and performed flawlessly. So I'm pretty happy with the little STG Albron computer. And after the upgrades, it obviously woke it up and made it a much more capable machine. So let me quit running my mouth. Let's get this, let's get what I'm working on here tidied up. And then we will get you cut back on. We'll take a look at the performance of the machine. And I'll tell you what we got in it and what we're going to look to get out of it. And we'll see if we can make a little bit of money on Find It, Fix It, or Flip. Alright, we got it running right here. Find It, Fix It, or Flip It number 3, the STG Albron. You'll see the montage on it. So there it is right there. I found a nice ROG screensaver I liked, but we don't have anything ROG in here. At idle, what I've noticed so far, and I'm not jump off base too far here. See the GPU temp? It was about 42, 44 degrees Celsius at idle before. So we've already made a difference there, just at idle, right? Operating system here, you guessed it, Windows 10 IoT. It is an unsupported system, and if you play games with anti-cheats like Vanguard being one of them, and you run an unsupported Windows 11, you won't be playing any of Vanguard's games. Which, who uses Vanguard? Is it Epic Games that use them? I don't know, I always get them confused, but I know Vanguard won't work on them, and a lot of the anti-cheats, if you got Windows 11, we'll look to see if you have Secure Boot and TPM 2.0 enabled, and if you don't, they will not let you play the game. So that's that. You can see we got 32 gigs of RAM, 31.9 gigs to be exact. We have an E5 2687W. 3.10 is the base clock on it. 8 gigabyte graphics card, AMD RX 5700 XT, and of course the 500 gig NVMe drive right here. Or not NVMe, regular SD. So we are running Windows 10 IoT Enterprise LTSC 21H2, and you can then see it was installed on 11/26 of 2025. So right there, I put this on here fresh so my kid could game on it, literally. So that's our specs that we have going on here. We can look at it on Specky as well. So we'll open Specky up here. You see Windows 10 IoT Enterprise LTSC 64-bit. There's our Xeon, and there's our temperatures. And this is just idle right now, so it's not anything special. But all the temperatures look good on the CPU, the GPU, everything looks real good right now. So CPU Z, about the same thing, although it won't show you the temperature, it'll just show you the hardware information, and we'll pull into that real quick. Get the processor ramped up a little bit anyway. So we're running pretty cool temperatures on it. Got decent specs. I'm going to open up Nova Bench because I already did the test on it. And you can see the hardware and I can show you the scores. I will run some bench testing on this thing. I need to download Heaven because I want to be able to check the graphics temperatures. But right there's the hardware, E5, 2687W, RX 5700 XT, 16 gigs of DDR3 memory is wrong. We got 32 gigs in it. I don't know why it's showing that. But the scores right here, it went 1108 on the CPU, 464 on the GPU, 76 on the storage, 216 on the memory. But more remarkably is right here where it put us in it ranks higher than 68% of all systems tested. So honestly, this little computer is no slouch. I'm going to do a video to show you some of the things that I put on Windows 10 now when I do these IoT installs on computers that are going to go back out the door. This one's going to get reset because my kid was playing on it. He didn't sign into none of his accounts except probably Path of Exile here. You can see Path of Exile right there and something else right there. So that's all he put on it. We'll look at the apps right here. Building. Here's one of the things. I'm glad this come up right here. So that is called the game bar. And you can get that through an Xbox app. And do I have the Xbox app on here? Nope, I just have the game bar on it because you can download it separately. My kid found it when I put Windows 10 on his. And I should have did a video on that too. And I'm going to touch on that subject just a little bit right now. If you have Windows 11 installed on your computer and you did it legitimately and you went through account creation, I would get that shit off of my computer as fast as possible. Alright, we went 183.2 FPS, 4614 on the score, 9.5. Minimum 328.8 for the maximum FPS. The temperatures are better than what they were on Path of Exile. He was up around 90 degrees Celsius. The highest I seen it was 85. So we went down about 4 degrees. This Dell card just runs hot. It also performs a little under any of the 5700 XTs I've tested before, which is probably because it's only got 8-pin power to it, and Dell probably undervolted it. If I went in and looked at it, I'll bet they undervolted the card, which is pretty standard. Probably helping us out with a 500 watt STG Albron power supply anyway, so we're not going to complain about it too much. That power supply is a problem. I wish you could have. Well, let's go ahead and start it, and I'm going to be quiet, and I want you to listen to this computer. I'm going to tell you when you're pulling too much power from a power supply. You should be able to audibly hear it. I'll get quiet here as soon as it loads in. Well, now it's not going to do it. But when I first loaded into it, you should have heard the hum. It was insane. It was just insane, the hum. I'm going to let the temperature come down for a minute. We're going to fast forward you through a Nova Bench test. I'm going to go ahead and run one. So we'll just fast forward you through it. And then I'm going to tell you my thoughts on the computer, the performance, and what needs to be done with it. I can see one or two things that need to be done, but not both of them, just one or two things that need to be done. Basically, you got to get rid of some of the cheap parts that they put in this thing. So let me fast forward you through this test. We'll take a look at the scores and then we'll go over all of it and I'll give you a breakdown. Now, 1870 on Nova Bench is a solid score on a budget PC. 1105 on the CPU, 464 on the GPU, 85 on the storage, 216 on the memory. And you can see, as I showed you earlier in the video, where now it ranks higher than 69% of all systems tested. So we got a couple flags. CPU power consumption may be below expected, and GPU may be performing lower than expected. And that's just measuring it up against similar ones in different systems. Let's face it, we got a STG Albron. If you can get one of these in the top 69%, best of luck to you. that's just graphics card. I mean, that's just it right there, right? I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys and gals though, if you hear and feel the audible hum when you get the wattage up on this graphics card, you'll know that you have a huge power supply problem. If you ever hear that in your computer when you're gaming and you can feel it in the floor, just the hum and a little vibration, that's pulling too much from the power supply, honestly. And I'm pretty sure that's what we're doing here. So this computer is not ready for sale yet. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to do one or two things. I can leave it the way it is, and I can put a different graphics card in it that has a lower power consumption and feel better about it, or we can upgrade the power supply and feel better about it. So I don't know which direction I'm going to go with it yet. Obviously, whichever one's cheaper. I don't have a decent card. I'm thinking about it. If I have a decent card that's a lower power consumption, I'd really like to have one of my GTX 1660s, obviously, or even a little RTX 2060 Super, right? But I don't have any small cards to fit in that case besides that little 5700 XT. All right, from waiting in long lines to get in the Walmart parking lot to buy, find it, fix it, or flip it #3, to watching my Air Force son just have the time of his, a good time playing Path of Exile on this thing, and he spent hours on it. He literally did. So I got to watch it game and to play around with the X79 system, from the STG Albron, and to see what I was able to take a garbage computer and make it do was pretty awesome too. So we've had fun with it. Unfortunately, in good faith, I can't send Find It, Fix It, or Flip It #3 out the door like this. I would like to and give somebody a solid gaming package, but it's not feasible for me to do that, because if I put another $50 or $60 in the power supply, we add that on to the cost of the computer. And let's be honest, it's worth $350 to $400 out there, right? Let's be honest, that's what it's worth. I can get more out of that graphics card individually or in a better system, and we know that. So I'm not flipping PCs or doing the Find It, Fix It, or Flip It to not make money on it, is what I'm saying. And we need to, I don't know, some people would say $100 profit's good, but getting $350 and $400, we're going to sit on it for a little while. But it is getting closer to Christmas, so maybe not so long, but there are a ton of gaming PCs on Marketplace right now. So I don't know. This is something I'm going to have to think about, but I'll let you guys and gals know as soon as I figure this out, right? So tell me what you think of Find It, Fix It, or Flip It #3, and maybe you can, if the video hits before I sell it and figure this configuration out where I don't have any more money in it, I got to go through my systems and see if I have a graphics card that's lower power consumption that'll fit inside this case. That would greatly help, but I don't think I do. We could put the RX 550 in there and just make a banging budget build, but then you're wasting 32 gigs of RAM and a W28. You're wasting an 8-core 16-thread Xeon processor, so don't do that. It needs to have a decent graphics card, I think, to make it happen, but power supplies are something I'm low on, and I don't have any on hand. If I had a 650 or 700, 700 watt available, I'd throw it in here, and my cost would be more limited. But since I don't have it on hand, then it's all in on my cost, right? So that's about the size of it. I will tell you guys and gals what route I go, how much is in it, and of course when we flip it, how much we got out of it, right? That's what the find it, fix it, flip it's for. But this one I kind of need your help on. What direction do I go? Do I look for a lower power consumption graphics card that'll fit in this case? And mind you, we're limited on space on the length of that card, right? Or do we wait and look for a power supply? Or do we go a different route? I'm into this one for 150. We still have money left over from the profits from other computers that we've done so far, the first two. So we're not hurting, right? We can come up with a solution for this one, I'm sure. And getting closer to Christmas, we may be able to squeeze out just enough profit, even doing a power supply upgrade. So that may be what I look at doing, because if I could get 400 for it with a power supply upgrade, it would make it worth it, because we're making $150 on the machine at that point. Or if I got a smaller graphics card around here that's still powerful enough for this machine, I'm happy with being in the top 69% on Nova Bench, guys and gals. On a X79, you know, with 32 gigs of RAM, that RX 5700 XT, I'm very happy about it. It's not bottlenecking bad, because I tested this in a better system, this exact graphics card, and it doesn't score any better than that on Nova Bench. So I don't think we're bottlenecking any, really. I think that the problem, one of the big problems, is power draw. We're drawing 185, 190 watts out of that graphics card alone. That's a 500 watt power supply running on a Xeon 2687, a W2687. That's pulling a lot of power. You're pulling probably 130 watts from the processor alone. And then when you couple on a couple hundred watts from the graphics card, I mean, you're using up 500 watts real quick. And that's why when I put this thing in Heaven Benchmark, I could literally feel it and hear it humming. That graphics card, or that power supply, working that hard. It's not going to be long running it in this configuration where you get a matching the gas tank boom boom kind of thing, right? You're going to explode the power supply. That's exactly what this is headed for, and I don't want to send it down the road that way. So I want to make sure if we run it with the 5700 XT and sell it this way, then let's go ahead and give it what it deserves in a good graphics card. And like I said, I'm at a good cost in that 5700 XT, because I've got less than $50 in it, and you're going to see that video drop. So we have solutions here. I'm going to do a live stream on one of these Thursdays, and I'm going to address some Windows issues on Windows 11 I've run into. And none of my personal computers will ever have Windows 11 on them again, and never will I sell a flip that has Windows 11 on it again. Until Microsoft addresses some issues with that operating system, SimStation will no longer support it in any way, shape, or form, and they can shove the bloatware, spyware right up you know where. When you see my Windows 11 video, and when you'll see it, because you'll know when I call out everybody to make sure they pay attention to what happened to me or in my house personally, then I think it's something that all of you should know, right? I'm going to share it with YouTube, share it on the SimStation channel, and you guys can share it too. Because I would have never thought in a million years that an operating system would do what Windows 11 actually done. But it did it, and it's not good, okay? Junk it. If you have it, delete it, junk it. If you do a Windows 11 install, make sure you use Rufus and you do not do it the proper way. The proper way is to download it from Microsoft, go through and install it on a supported hardware, create your account, go through all the bullshit where they try to shove everything down your throat, okay? And then download it and do it that way. But I'm going to tell you right now, they're going to encrypt your drive, and they're going to lock your BIOS down in your computer. And if you don't know what you're doing when you go to reinstall it, you're going to have big problems. So this is going to stay with Windows 10 IoT Enterprise LTSC 21H2. And that's because it is supported until January 13th of 2032. Will it get feature updates? No, but who cares? Feature updates are what break your system, but it will get security updates, which is what one needs to safely operate on the internet. And furthermore, because it's still going to be supported till 2032, you'll get browsers that work on it, apps that work on it, and everything will still run. That's why Windows 7 and XP work fine long after their expiration date, right? Because companies still supported it. So that's my take on that. I'm going to do a whole video on this Windows 11 thing because you won't believe what happened. That's just, I'm still shaking my head about it. But that's going to do it on Find It, Fix It, Flip It number 3. Before I edit the video, if I decide what I'm going to do on power supply or graphics card and put it up for sale, I'll let you guys and gals know. But it was a 30-minute ride into the parking lot to get it. It was watching this thing, just my kid have a blast gaming on it, you know, over 3 or 4 days there on Path of Exile, and just seeing the little thing perform, you know, personally seeing them perform. I never put them through that kind of torture test when I bench test them, right? So it got the real deal torture test here at SimStation, and I'm really happy to see that. But that's going to do it for the video. Like, comment, subscribe, and make sure you comment on exactly what I'm talking about on the power supply and stuff, and what route you think we should go at SimStation on this to get it ready to flip out the door. That's going to do it. It's been another fun SimStation video, and I'll catch you on